Hey everyone, I'm back. I'm doing another show today, and the commute took an hour and a half. Came through rush hour. Actually, it wasn't too bad, but I planned for it. This show is not airing yet. It's going to air starting in 2017. It's called APB. You can see the trailer for it on YouTube. Actually, I'll link to it probably in the upper right corner and also in the description box below. And once again, I was chosen to play someone who's like a business upscale kind of person. I'm being typecast. So actually, and this time the casting company actually emailed me before they posted it on their Facebook page. So that was kind of nice. It doesn't seem like there are many of us. When they emailed us last night about the call time, which is 9:30, which means be there before 9:30, they didn't blind copy everybody, which I thought was odd. They just put everybody in CC. So I would have blind copied. And then the other thing is always the wardrobe. Like, are they being clear? So they wanted business this time, not business casual. They wanted business. So and they said no black and no brights, and bring 3 or 4 different outfits. Well, and wear one of them. Well, I'm wearing one, and I bought one because I'm wearing a taupe color, I don't know if you can see it, taupe color blazer with a blue shirt, but a lot of my other blazers and suits are colors of beige, or I have lots of black. And I have a very dark navy suit, but it's so dark that it looks black. So the other suit I brought is a navy blue and white tweed. I brought a white shirt for that and a white top. And then I also brought a pink shirt. So that's what I got. And we should be sitting for this. They called us shareholders, but they didn't say what we're doing. But we're meeting in a theater that's really well known in the city, obviously empty today. Except for us. And so I think we should be sitting. That's why I applied for it, and the age range was right. So we'll see how that goes. So let's see, what time is it? It's 11:25, and we're finally finishing getting through wardrobe. There were some other people who showed up who are going to play what we're playing, which is shareholders, plus they're also playing a pedestrian, so they had to get their wardrobe done first. Luckily, they're not having me change. Here comes somebody else. So next, hopefully we get called. It's the next day after the shoot for APB, and I feel like a schlump today. I'm so tired. It ended up being a long day. So some tips that I want to give you is that, first of all, I figured out the right thing to wear. They told the women, come dressed in business, and you could do pantsuits or skirted suits or a dress with a blazer. But again, with this, like on other things, they say no black, and of course a lot of women had black because a lot of the men were wearing, all the men were wearing suits, and there was a lot of black suits and really dark charcoal suits. So they don't want the same color all over the place. So I decided to wear only pantsuits, and I'm so glad I did, because this theater was down below ground and it was cold. Even if the theater had been above ground, I think it would have been chilly. And there were women there wearing skirts and wearing dresses, and they were cold because they either were wearing no nylons or no tights, or they were wearing nylons, but then their shoes were hurt. Anyway. And some women were wearing sleeveless dresses with a blazer, and they told them to take the blazer off because they liked the color of the dress. And then they were really cold. So they let me wear what I wanted to wear. Now, the thing is, there were 3 wardrobe women. So by the time they were finally looking at my clothes, just for the people who are only going to be in the shareholder scene, it was later, and luckily the woman who came through was being really easy on everybody and said to me, yeah, you're good, you can sit down. So I really didn't want to change my clothes. Then they were lining us up again, and I hoped that they wouldn't make me change my clothes again. There was one woman who was being really picky, and then she walked away to pay attention to other people. Then a third woman came to me, and she said, oh yeah, you're good, you can sit down. I'm like, yes. So in this scene, and this happens sometimes, especially if they're taking take after take after take and then moving the cameras, and then taking another set of takes. So in this one, when we got in the theater, they had one of these things that looks like a little train track, and they put a camera on this little cart on wheels, and then they push it around. So after they take various takes of the scene with that, then they have to take it apart. So now you have time to go to the bathroom. No one tells you that, but you got to figure it out yourself. So I'm so glad I took the time to say, you know what, I'm going to the bathroom right now. I had eaten all my snacks that I brought with me by 11:30. That was too bad. And they finally did bring us some bottled water, but only in holding. And I chose to bring my purse in there because in the theater, I thought I'm going to put my purse down and nobody's going to see it. And in the second half, I ended up putting the bottled waters were little, and I put it in my purse. Now, I don't know what the men could have done because they're not walking in with a purse. But some people had some snacks left over, and some women had snacks in their purse. So it's just nice to have the purse with you. And holding, there were a couple young women up there, and they said, you can leave all of your things here. I'm going to be here the whole time watching it. Yeah, well, when we finished for the day, which was closer to like 7 o'clock, 7:30, she had more new people coming in for a new set, or a new scene. So she was checking them in. She couldn't be watching our purses. So I just left my garment bag and another bag where I had a book and a magazine and some other things. That's where I had my food. But yeah, my purse, well, I took that with me. So that was nice. They didn't say anything to anybody who brought a purse in, like, you can't have that. So yeah, couldn't be seen. This was not one of my favorite shoots. By the time they fed us, it was like 5 o'clock, 5:15. That was really late. And they were still calling it lunch. I'm like, that wasn't lunch, that was dinner. I joked about that with some people I was sitting with after lunch. So yeah, that's the latest I've ever been given the meal break. Usually it's around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and that's late enough. But we were getting really tired, and I just think it's better to feed everybody. You know, production didn't eat till then either, but they've got access to craft services the whole time, so they can go grab something to eat. Now, in this particular set, they had 2 different buffets, one for production and one for the extras, which was nice because normally if there's one buffet, production eats first and then we eat second, and sometimes we have to watch them go through the line and eat before we're given a chance to go through the line. However, with our own buffet, that was great, but once I got to our buffet, I realized it wasn't the same food, and it wasn't nearly as good. And being a vegetarian and more healthy person, you know, I like a lot of vegetables. So they had a salad, and that was okay. It had romaine and it had carrots and onions, but other than that, there were no vegetables in the rest of the buffet. There was corn, but corn is a grain. There were potatoes, there were beans and rice. They said brown rice on a sign, but it was white. And a couple meats, but you know, I didn't eat meats. In this particular thing, they did not plan well for the number of people they had. They didn't have enough seats and tables, even though they brought more tables up in the afternoon and chairs. And they really didn't have enough food for all of us. They did run out. They ran out of dessert. They ran out of drinks. So usually there's lots of leftover. You could go back for seconds. So always bring something to eat and always bring something to drink with you. You'll be really happy if you do that. So think about what you like and that's easy to bring, that doesn't have to be refrigerated, and just bring it. The other interesting thing is it's a big theater, so they, you know, didn't have enough extras for everybody, for all the seats. That's not the plan. So what they did after we ate, they did what they call, I think they called it tile blocking, tile something. So they had us sitting in a section of the theater. They put a green screen on the seats behind us. They had us go through the thing where we're more animated, and then we moved. So we went from section to section. They tried to keep moving us around. At one point, they were filing out people out of this section and putting them in this section, and the man who was on this end of an aisle seat would have been sitting on this end of the aisle, and the girl said, no, you go down here, because otherwise when it comes out, it's going to look like you were sitting next to yourself. And the assistant director who was working with us through this scene joked with us later and saying when the episode comes out, you might freeze frame this particular shot and see how many times you can find yourself in the audience. So they're going to piece it together in editing and make it look like the whole place is filled, but it's just us over and over and over. I think I sat in 10 different seats when I was there. So really interesting. So that was my experience on a new TV show, APB, that's coming out sometime in 2017. Not sure it'll be earlier in the year or later in the year. They have a lot already done. Check out the interesting trailer that's available on YouTube. I'll link it if you click the little eye in the upper right hand corner, or maybe I'll also link it over here on the side if you're on computer, or click the description box below and check it out. So are you ready to be an extra yet in your metropolitan area? It can be a lot of fun. It's a bucket list thing. And a lot of times they want children. So you can think about having your kids be an extra in TV. Thanks for watching. Bye.